State Farm Stadium. Mecum's annual 5-day visit to the Arizona desert always delivers an impressive lineup of electric cars, and as you'll see coming up in the next hour, this year is no exception. Okay, here is the Ferrari 2007 599 GT.
Wow. Yeah, wow is right. This is during the time period where these front-end Ferraris, every time a new one came out, it was faster than the one that preceded it. This is a great example of this car. 6-liter, 611 horsepower V12, and that Formula One super fast 6-speed sequential transmission, which makes gear changes in around a tenth of a second faster than the human being can. A little bit of a departure from a Ferrari red, but still, it's not some wild, crazy, over-the-top color. It still maintains that presence of a Ferrari. All right, here's one you can afford.
Exactly. Right here is a 76 308 GTB.
Yeah, the 308. That was the first mass-produced Ferrari. They built more of these than anything they've built up until this point. Pininfarina styling, built by Scaglietti. One of 712 of the GTB Vetrosina fiberglass body models. Remember now, in case you're not familiar with these, they started with fiberglass bodies and then they moved to steel construction. Not an ultra-low mileage Ferrari. It's got over 44,000 miles on the odometer.
105, 105, 105,000 on a bid. 105, third. I'm going to go 5. I'm going to go 7.5. I'm going to go 7.5 in water. 5. I'm going to go 7.5. I'm going to go 5 in 7.5. 105, 107.5. Yes or no? 107.5. 107.5. I'm going to go 7.5. Half. Sold 105. Sold 105,000.
How about that?
How about that? Congratulations to the consignor.
1 year only body style on this one, 58 Corvette. Here's another top flight winner for you, Brother Bill.
Yeah, the dual 4-barrel 283 with 245 horsepower. The 270 horsepower version as well. 4-speed and 411 gears. Positive traction. Boy, that sounds like a rock and roll song.
Top flight 58 Vet, Bill, 110, huh?
Oh, we have a winner, huh? Okay, this is a 454. 360 horse. So this takes us down from the LS6. This was the lower horsepower version of that big block, 4-speed manual. Frame off restoration. And, for people who aren't familiar with that term, it's very simple. That car was completely disassembled, body off frame. And if there's any rust or anything in there that needs attention, well, that's the time to do it. Take it even to the rotisserie restoration. And you put the platform of the car on a rotisserie. And you crank it around. You get to every nook and cranny of that platform. 12-bolt rear end, 331 posi, and a now induction hood. Another popular option. Fathom Blue, oh boy. That's a fade. Approaching $90,000 for the 360 horse version of the 454.
And that's real good money for the LS5. Absolutely.
This next car is a 1970 Chevelle LS6. A little bit different color combination than we are used to seeing on an LS6, Bill.
Yeah, it's going to sell more than the Z28 too, because this is the LS6, the 450 horse 454 with a 4-speed. Gobi beige, yes, Scott. That is a very over-the-top color for these cars with a gold interior.
I don't think I've seen a color combo like that is so tough in how it works with the whole appearance. That's just not, I think if I knew it had that much muscle, I don't think that's a color that I would be jumping for. Man, it really works.
A car in this color combination, Bill, you would think, oh, it's got a 307 in it, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, right.
1970 Nova Super Sport.
Sorry, I can't talk.
You're speechless?
People, look at this Nova. Now, we're not talking about one of those Yanko Novas or Motion Performance. This is a factory-built 70 Nova real SS with that L78 375 horse 396 6 and that wide ratio M24 speed. Oh, this could rule practically any street or boulevard back in 1970. Not a car to be trifled with. 12-bolt posi with 355 gears. But that black paint, black interior, welfare wheels, raised white letter tires. Now you know why I'm speechless.
1075.
Hey, I'm not surprised. And again, let me repeat, not Yanko, not Motion Performance, not Nicky, not one of the aftermarket boutique builders. This is all GM from bumper to bumper, and we're in the 6th vintage plus.
It is rock solid. What a Chip Foose design, as Chris has pointed out before, 1933 Ford, nicknamed not impactful, Bill, but impact.
Yes, let's stay away from that word.
It's always been in the vault in the Peterson for a long time. If you've never been to the Peterson Automotive Museum, make sure to make the vault part of the things you see there. It wasn't always open to the public, but has recently been open, and it's really the creme de la creme of the Peterson collection is down in the vault. Yeah, and you'll see, I mean, that signature, really swoopy front fender down into the rocker. I mean, that has Chip Foose DNA written all over it. He will continue to have several of his award winners that came after this car.
All right, that one heads to the phone. Daniel Hatchett, one of our consignment agents on the telephone there, taking care of the individual on the other end. 97,000 buys it. So we move to this nearly brand new GT350 2025.
Yeah, the 60th anniversary of the original Shelby GT350 in 1965. Real Shelby has the Shelby VIN in it as well. 562 were produced for 2025. If that sounds familiar, that's how many were built in 1965. Supercharged 810 horsepower, 5-liter V8. It's got the Shelby Borla catback exhaust, Brembo disc brakes, automatic transmission, by the way. And just the appearance and the stance and the overall intimidation factor on these Shelby Mustangs.
You know, it just occurred to me, Bill, as we see this sell for 125, we talk about horsepower, cubic inches, top speed, 0 to 60. But for you, I think a lot of these cars, the intimidation factor is big.
Well, look at me.
Be prepared to watch the bidding go pretty high on this car. 2018, I think that may be an understatement. 2018 Ford GT.
And you know, Scott, how we always say that a good way to gauge the value of a Ford GT from any of the previous generations from 2005 up, to look at the odometer. This one, 567 miles.
So, $700,000.
And it hammers right there at $700,000. This is one of the cars, perhaps the car, that put Lamborghini on the performance map.
You're right. Now, I want to point out one thing that Shannon actually noticed yesterday. The eyelashes on these headlamps is a very easy way to identify what era of Mura it is. From 66 to 71, they were on there on the 400Ps and the S's, and then later on the SV version in 1971 to the end of the run, they were not there. So, quick way to identify which generation of Mura you're looking at. I so much prefer the eyelash version.
Yeah, and that color scheme, too, that really leaps out at you. That Verde Mura, the green hue with the blue interior, that's kind of a wild combo. Yeah, this has got that 3.4-liter, 350 horsepower V12, one of only 6 that were finished in this color, one of only 762 that were produced during that run between 67 and 73. This one was displayed about 15 years ago at the Concours Italiano out in Monterey. 5-speed manual, a 180-mile-an-hour car, believe me.
And shout out to probably the godfather of wedge design, Marcelo Gandini. Yes, he's responsible for this car and many, many other iconic wedge vehicles.
And the Countach.
Including the Countach. Yep. Not sure if the camera is showing what a bright blue interior this is. It might look a little darker, but the contrast between that bright blue and the Verde exterior is so cool.
Yeah, it's bright blue, all right.
And folks, the reserve is off.
You want it. $1,550,000. $1,600,000. Final call. Anybody else? $1,550,000. 1,550,000, 1,600,000.
Poetry in motion.
Makes the noise. So,
Legendary car all day long. $1.55 million, and we've got a terrific Lamborghini Miura that is going to that gentleman right there. There are Shelby Cobras in the house here in Glendale, and this is one of the premier Shelby Cobra Roadsters, 1966 427.
Back in 1966, the 427 and the Cobra was 2 years old. It began with 427s, like that one, the side oiler. Then they switched to 428s before they went back to 427s. So this car right here was on the back end of that because of the chassis number. The 3355 tells you that they were kind of getting close to the end of the road. This is a wide-hipped street car. Now you see the big wide fenders in the back. Those were really designed for racing. And what the previous owner or the current consignor did was put racing-sized wheels and tires in the back to fill out the wheel wells. I love that because with the Sunburst Street version wheels, there's just too much space in the rear wheel wells, and this corrects it. Of course, it's a 4-speed manual like they all had. The top loader from Ford, the knockoff wheels. Those are the pin drive wheels, which would have been an upgrade on the street cars back then. As I mentioned, the Sunburst wheels were the ones that most street cars came with. So we're at $1,650,000, and I'm beginning to smell that reserve coming on.
Me too. I've got a feeling. We knew it was a 7-figure car all day long. Yep.
We got $1,675,000.
That's original. It's got to correct everything. You saw the splitter and the front grill opening there.
Oh, there it is.
Bada boom.
You were right, Bill.
Guys, we see a lot of the replicas come through here, but when you see an original one, it really is exquisite.
Oh boy, you said a mouthful, Cal. Especially one in this condition, at this level of restoration.
Anybody else? 1,675,000, 1,700,000.
1,675.
Yeah. So MSRP about $6,000. And you know they didn't sell the last one until almost 1968.
That's true. A lot of holdovers. But today, this one sells $1.675 million. Here comes one of the legendary cars in the Corvette world of all time. And of course, it is the 1963 split window coupe. This one in ermine white, black interior. Check this car out.
Okay, that looks like the 340 horse 327 with the cast valve covers and chrome air cleaner. 4-speed, ermine white, black interior. Power brakes, and radio, that was an option. All original.
So, $130,000
Another great example of a split window coupe selling here at Beacon Glendale for $130,000 on this spectacular Saturday. Here is an RS Z28 1969. What a package this is. Okay, let's see what happens with this. See, already at $90,000. We sold one for about $20,000. This one is the Cross Ram 302. That's numbers matching powertrain in this. And it's interesting that when they put those two 4-barrels on here, General Motors still rated those engines at 290 horsepower. That's not horsepower hocus pocus. I don't know what it is. This has got the rosewood steering wheel, the door bumper, front and rear spoilers, and of course the correct first round bar shifter. Still working on it.
130 is dead. $135,000.
Okay.
Show is off. $135,000 and we go. So,
Here's a K5 Blazer. Let's see about that market unease, as you said earlier, Bill.
Yeah. You don't need me to tell you the quality of this restoration. Look. Got the 350, automatic, green, white. Makes that Oreo paint job. Stock. Color on the top, color on the bottom, and white. You got a shops that either do the full restorations or the customization. Some of them are 3, 4, 5 years out. People just waiting and willing to wait to get their truck done.
And $125,000 gavel on this K5 Blazer.
Not a surprise.
One of our faves up next, 1957 Bel Air convertible. This also from the Coleman collection.
No expense spared on a frame-off restoration, which means a lot of money went into what you're looking at right now. It's got the 283 with the 4-barrel, and this one right back to factory spec. You see the inside, yep. Ever familiar interior there, column shifted power glide. Chrome trim, all refinished, stainless. Anything that needed it, it got done.
You know, you mentioned already about the 57 Bel Air in that category. They're all different. Well, this is unusual because of the fact that it's kind of back to the way it looked like. And I realize it's a total restoration, but it's kind of the back to stock.
Yeah, all the way.
You know, very cool. In the meantime, a 1956 Corvette convertible. Well, they're all convertibles in the C1 generation.
Yes, sir. Well, there are certain levels of certification from the NCRS. And the top one that everybody lusts for their Corvette is the Duntov Mark of Excellence. This one has been given. Plus, NCRS Top Flight, NCRS Performance Verification Award. It's a matching numbers, 265 with 2 4-barrels, 225 horse. The standard 3-speed manual transmission and to complete the drivetrain, 327 gears and the rear end. Just 1 year before Posit Traction became available. Radio delete, kind of a misnomer. Radios were not standard, so you could say that it is radio unequipped. Heater delete, power operated convertible top. That's worth some money. How about $125,000?
Exactly. Yes, that is an important Corvette right there. Big dollar Corvette has arrived for us, Bill.
Oh, boy. Yeah, this is the Sunfire Yellow. My 66 427 Corvette was Sunfire Yellow, so I can really appreciate the look of this car. Redline tires with the side exhaust and rally wheels, but the big headline, 427, 435 horse L71 with the aluminum heads, making that the L89. M21 4-speed, 370 positive traction rear end. With the AM/FM radio, that was an option. Wood grain steering wheel, not wooden steering wheel.
So you get wood grain splinters if you're in a.
Oh boy! Could you just sit there for a minute?
That Stinger hood, very popular in Corvette mid-year customizations, regardless of the year.
Yep. What engine did your 66 have in it? Your Sunfire Yellow 66?
L72.
Oh, really?
425 horse, 425.
Okay.
I had 3 66s, all big blocks. 2 L72s, 1 L36, the 390 horse.
Right. Okay. 125. That's where we're up to now. Side exhaust looks so good on these cars.
They certainly did. They debuted in 65, and I can't imagine anybody with a Corvette from that generation that wouldn't want those pipes on their car, even if you had to retrofit them.
A 66 Shelby GT350H, not a replica here, real deal.
And you know what? Of the 1,000 that were built, this could be one of the best out there. I am not exaggerating. Listen up to the specs on this car. Original engine, Shelby Ford Mustang 6S 671. That's the 6 for 66 and the 66S for street. And 671 is the production sequence up to 1,000. Now I've heard that number kind of shift back and forth by a couple of units, but we go with 1,000. Everything needs restoration on this, refurbished, built, replaced, done. Got the Shelby 9,000 RPM titanium. And boy, those things got ripped out by a lot of street rats back in the day. If they could get their hands on one of those tachometers, they would. This car has it.
Terrific car and a terrific collection that we are in the early stages of. The Mile High collection, more than 20 cars here at Mecum Glendale. And if you've heard that collection before, yeah, they have brought many cars over the years to Mecum auctions, and they always have their act together, Bill.
Yeah, and you know, when they're parked over there in the display area, always draw lots of people to take a closer look. This truck has a near 35 miles per gallon. Whipple Supercharged 5.2. Got the Shelby BDS suspension lift, 18-inch Shelby wheels, big Lexus tires with 37 inches, the Baja Raptor hood, the intake, extraction fence. Oh, that may be too much truck for a lot of people.
And they start with a Raptor R, which is already a beast of a vehicle, and then they turn it up. That's amazing.
Yeah, as that whole Raptor, F-150 Raptor generation continued each year, faster, more power, more attitude, and look at what you got here.
Is this the one that had the flat plane crank set up in it?
Good question. We know that the Coyote motors did. This may not be Coyote based 5.2, but we're going to get our best people.
132,500. Continuing with the Mile High collection and 1978 Land Cruiser FJ40.
Yeah. This is, where the whole FJ craze began. FJ40 Land Cruiser, 4.2-liter inline six, 5-speed manual. And this market has maintained a pretty good modicum of strength over the years. I was thinking what the MSRP on this may have been back in 1978, $1978. Could not have been a lot of money, right?
Okay, 60,000 will buy it. And it's headed to the phone with Daniel Hatchett, our consignment agent, on the case over there. Well, right behind that FJ is Land Rover Defender 130 from '93.
Hey, Rutledge, have you ever done the Paris to Dakar?
No, but wouldn't this be fun to take?
Thank you. We've got it.
I can tell you, this is the kind of vehicle that Chris and I have been talking about. We pass each other and say, oh, did you see this? Oh, did you see this? This was one of the ones we talked about. A real stout setup here. This has got the 2.5 turbo diesel, I believe, but it's a really well done restoration of this truck.
Yeah, inline four-cylinder engine, 2.5 liter. We're not talking about a major powerhouse, but you know what? When you're going off-road or going across the sand or down the trails, unless you're going to do rock climbing, this has got enough power to go anywhere.
Six figures here. Well, there's enough desert around here that you can take it out and be home for dinner.
Really, you drive like maybe 5 miles out of Glendale.
Take that one home. $120,000. The 2019 Corvette ZR1, Bill.
Oh, I'm getting deep. The 3ZR Premium Equipment Package. We're talking about packages. The ZR1 Sebring Orange Design Package. The ceramic brake rotors with orange calipers. Competition sport seats. Carbon fiber. Love the car.
35 buys that GR1. That seems like a pretty good deal, actually.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Let me just check here. That's a car that only has about 4,400 miles on it. You're right.
Would you call that medium miles, or it's not super low mileage? I mean, we've seen under 100 on several occasions.
So 2019, it's 7 years old.
Yeah.
So that was not driven every day, I guarantee you.
Interesting. So 135 again buys that. And the 1970 Bronco is on the block and moving to our left. You're right.
Yeah, restored about a year plus. The guys at Unbroken Garage. Oh, they did everything. Everything. I mean, we're talking about the paint, the bodywork, powertrain's a 5-liter, 6R80 automatic transmission, came in 20 transfer case. Got those wild horses 4-wheel disc brakes there with the Wilwood Hydro Boost. That truck will stop. Pretty wheels on there, the deep dish, polished, slotted bags, raised white leather tires, Wimbledon white. Interior colors called walnut. Tilt steering column. The center console is all custom built. Yep, another 6-figure Bronco. Boy, they just keep getting better and better.
Guys, the bully has entered the play yard. Oh boy.
Here it comes.
Yep, this has been out on the field level, roughly the 50-yard line here at State Farm Stadium all week. It's a 70 Chevelle LS6
with the original 454, 450 horse big block. Triple black. 40 power traction whip, and that will throw you back into the seat in a hurry. All righteous here, cowl induction hood, 5-spoke, super sport wheels, wide oval tires, those Firestone wide oval tires that you could vaporize those in no time with that in the trusses.
You know, Bill, you mentioned we could have an amazing custom truck show. How about the LS6 show we could have here with this lots of motocross? And this would definitely be the centerpiece of that display.
Indeed, we've seen some that have had the 454 transplant. Now we have one here that came with the 454 from the factory. And
We saw that Adobe yellow color LS6.
LS6 71 vet, I believe. 71 vet, that would have the LS6.
71 LS6, yes, sir.
You got a good buyer. Late in the week. That comes off.
155. They're considering it.
75.
157
We even had did we have an LS6 El Camino
Take it off.
160 pounds to the bid. 157 last call. 116 pounds to the bid. 116 pounds to the bid.
LS6 El Camino.
I can do that. 157.5. Reserve is off.
Hey, the reserve is off here. Good news, everybody. 157.5 for the moment.
Yes or no? 116. Drake. What's he say? 116 pounds to the bid. Mark the block. 157.5. George, how about you guys? 116. 157.5. 116 pounds to the bid. I'm going to be better. 116 pounds. 116 pounds. So 157.5. So 157 pounds.
Well,
Okay, 57.5. And the Bentley Continental GT is on the block next from 2020.
hey everybody, look at the new 2026 Bentley Continental GT. Well, you know, that really won't work now because they did change the styling on the new ones just a little bit, but oh boy, these cars will never be ugly. Azure purple, Hotspur linen on the inside, and the 626 horsepower W12 6-liter twin turbo. 8-speed dual clutch automatic. All the gingerbread. The all-wheel drive powertrain. Ash veneer on the inside. All the beautiful leather. Heated, ventilated, massaging seats. Man, that cost you $40 in Atlantic City. Sometimes it just comes out.
We're going to need a Bill top 10 for the weekend.
That's good. Yes, we will. We're going to have a new category. We'll have our graphics team get on that right away.
Do closed captions, I don't know. Oh, look where we are bidding-wise, heavily into six figures. Oh, the car's only 6 years old, so
Not surprising.
not at all.
You know, the thing that strikes me visually is that purple and red is really not a color combination that we see too often, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll see it in person too. It's not quite purple and it's not quite red, so therefore they work together pretty well.
Good point. Good point. And 142.5. Lies the catch. Hey, Bill Stevens, I have one word for you on this car. Hennessy.
Oh, that guy. He needs to be somebody. I'm knowing. John Hennessy, one of my heroes. He got his hands on this Mustang Dark Horse. He gave it like 850 horsepower worth of vitamin, supercharged, 5-liter Coyote, 650 pound-feet of torque. Yeah, he'll do his handiwork on. Kind of like Ken Lingenfelter. He just loves a challenge.
1 of 1 in this color, Phantom Blue. Excuse me, Vapor Blue.
Yep.
And it brought $145,000. 67 L79.
L79, you got my attention.